Ah, mail's here. Alright then.
Marvel made a movie with James Gunn. Marvel just continues going strong with the cinematic universe. Best Buy has a Steelbook that's in short supply, and I'm gonna buy it. Oh yeah. 'Cause the picture's so divine and fine, and now it's finally mine, baby. Grab that Blu-ray disc. Grab that Blu-ray disc. Grab that Blu-ray disc. Grab that Blu-ray disc.
Beaver cap and his checkered tie. Let's see what he has to say. What's he got for us this time? They're probably Blu-rays.
Aficionados Chris.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Aficionados Chris.
It's a comfort measure.
Aficionados
Shadow lights, shoot the cameras, marvel the world in panoramas. He likes to impersonate Walker.
Hey everybody, Aficionados Chris here, and today I'm going to be talking about what is quite possibly one of the best films of the year, easily one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time, at least right now, and also the most surprising hit movie of the year for, I think, everyone, fans and non-fans of this particular property. This is a title that everyone and their dog has either seen or has constantly recommended that I check out or do a video on it, do a review, do something with it. It is that popular of a film, and well, after seeing it in theaters a long time ago and picking up the Blu-ray, I can certainly say that everything anyone has ever said is absolutely 100% on the dot. I adore this movie. It's one of my favorites of the year, and that film we are talking about is, of course, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the Best Buy exclusive Blu-ray Steelbook. We'll talk about the Steelbook in a minute. First, I actually want to talk about the movie for a little bit and what I thought about it. I'm speaking as someone who doesn't read a lot of comic books, and most of my knowledge of Marvel, its superheroes, its superhero groups, its characters, and all that comes from my uncle, who's a big Marvel nut and kind of comic book geek, who basically gave me a lot of insight on characters and properties that were very big in his time. And he actually gave me several encyclopedias, one that's actually called the Marvel Encyclopedia, that has a lot of information. So going on that, I knew very little about the Guardians of the Galaxy's characters, the group itself, and basically all the stories and all that. So I was going in completely blind, and I think most people actually went in completely blind. My good friend Grace actually put in a good point that even fans of Guardians of the Galaxy, the comic, were very confused as to why they want to adapt it into a film, because it is very obscure. But certainly those times have changed, and Guardians of the Galaxy is not only one of the biggest Marvel films right now, and probably one of the biggest Marvel films of all time, but like every Marvel movie that becomes a big hit at the box office, it's become very, very popular. There's already an animated series adaptation in the works. Kids love this series. Heck, I have Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas wrapping paper right now. That's how popular it's become at this point. And the film's soundtrack, which is full of a lot of 70s and 80s pop songs, has become a huge seller. In fact, it was the #1 album for a very long time, which is amazing considering a lot of the songs on the album and that are used in the movie are, though very iconic, some of them are really obscure for today's standards. And it's good to know that so many classics like Come and Get Your Love, Hooked on a Feeling, or Ooh Child are now big songs all over again in 2014 of all time periods. Now, speaking of music, I guess that's where we come into the Steelbook, which, as you can see, is meant to replicate the tape cassette player that Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, has in the film. And if you've seen the movie, you actually know the significance about the mixtape and the cassette player and why it's important and why it's really cool that the Steelbook basically mimics that. The coolest part about it is that you can actually see all over is that it's beautifully crafted. You actually have some embossed on the front, so it actually looks like and feels like a real cassette player, like stereos actually embossed, you can feel that. On the back, you can actually see that they even went so far as to have screws. They're not real screws, but printed screws, an open slot, and a little 1980s style sticker of the characters of the film. Now, this is my only gripe, is that on the spine, you can actually see that there's no title on it. All you see are the buttons that would be on a cassette player, like play, fast forward, rewind, and stop, which can be inconvenient for people who just want to grab a movie off their shelf by seeing the title. But, you know, if you you're like me and you keep a very good catalog, you probably won't have a problem. You can actually see that on the inside it goes even further with this design by making it look like the inside of a tape cassette player. That comes with two versions of the film, which are the standard Blu-ray, and for all those 3D Blu-ray enthusiasts out there, you also have the film on 3D Blu-ray, which makes it different from the metal pack that X-Men Days of Future Past had, which did not include the 3D edition. And as I recall, most of the metal packs for 3D movies did not come with the 3D version. So that's the benefit, I guess, with Steelbooks, is that they throw that in there for you. That's really all I can say about the package itself, which I can't emphasize enough is absolutely awesome. Now, I will say these are getting hard to find. I actually had to get mine on eBay for a fairly hefty price, but in my opinion, totally worth it, because I think this is the best way, at least collectors-wise and percentage-wise, this is the best way to own Guardians of the Galaxy, because this packaging alone just perfectly complements the film and, you know, why I love it so much, and it was absolutely worth every penny I spent on it. Now let's talk about the picture, audio quality, and all that good stuff. Now, this is a fantastic release. No matter what version you get, Steelbook, Target exclusive, what have you, any version of it on Blu-ray is a fantastic release, because as you expect, the picture audio quality is phenomenal, as it should be. I mean, it is a brand new film shot in HD. It looks exactly the way it should. The colors are great, because let's face it, they're a very colorful set of characters and they look great in high definition. But the thing that I really love the most, outside of how great the presentation of the film is the bonus material. This is some of the best bonus content I've seen for any film in a very long time. You have this hilariously awesome behind the scenes featurette, which has these little segues that are animated in the style of a 16-bit Super Nintendo game, maybe like an arcade. It's absolutely awesome. As well as the one thing that a lot of people are really excited about, the exclusive first look at the upcoming sequel to the Avengers, Age of Ultron. I will not spoil anything about that, because if you haven't seen it yet and haven't picked up Guardians of the Galaxy on Blu-ray, it's short, but you're in for a real treat, especially if you're like me and you cannot wait for that sequel. It's absolutely worth it. And another awesome bonus feature is something that I really take pride in. It's one of my favorite bonus features to ever have on any release. The audio commentary of the film with James Gunn, the director and writer of the film. That commentary is worth a listen. It's just always great to get some insight from one of my favorite directors, and that commentary certainly satisfied me as a fan. I think it's obvious, Guardians of the Galaxy is a must-see movie. It's just a must-own movie. This should be in everybody's collection, whether you be young, old, male, female. You're gonna love this movie, I can guarantee it. There's nothing to not love about it. If you're not a big fan of superhero movies, I still think Guardians of the Galaxy is really worth checking out. It's a fantastic, hilarious, awesome science fiction romp that I just adore immensely. It's right up there with films like the Lego Movie and Godzilla is one of my favorites of the year, and I am most certainly going to be watching this more and more times this year, next year, the following years. I just adore this movie, can't get enough of it, and cannot recommend it enough to everybody out there to at least check out this movie right now. So that's it for my review of the Guardians of the Galaxy Best Buy exclusive Blu-ray Steelbook. Highly recommended. Really, just get Guardians of the Galaxy on Blu-ray, period. Does not have to be the Steelbook, but if you're a big fan of the film and don't mind spending a little more than the average retail price for something absolutely special, you're in for a treat with that collector's edition. So, I hope you enjoyed the video, and please have a wonderful day. Goodbye.